We're going to start with West Ham. They've agreed a deal with Man City to sign Kalvin Phillips on loan till the end of the season. The deal includes an option to make the move permanent in the summer. talkSPORT's chief football correspondent Alex Crook joined this morning's breakfast show with the very latest on the transfer.
It suits all parties. Kalvin Phillips needs to go out and play some football before the European Championships. Not that I think his place in Gareth Southgate's squad is under serious threat, because obviously a lot of people have said, well, he's not playing for Manchester City, therefore he shouldn't be playing for his country. But there aren't too many similar English midfielders, that do the same job as Kalvin Phillips. So I think he'll be on the plane, but he wants to go and be in the best possible shape to hopefully, from his point of view, push for a role in the starting 11. As you mentioned there, my understanding is that Phillips has given the nod that he's happy to join West Ham. I think more discussions would take place today between the two clubs.
It's going to be interesting for Kalvin Phillips and West Ham. I suppose the obvious question is where does he fit into this side? Alvarez is out at the moment, so you would imagine it's Souček, Ward-Prowse and Kalvin Phillips. Yeah. But I wonder when everyone's fit, will they revert back? Remember when Souček was playing alongside Declan Rice? They sort of played two holders. I wonder if they would do that, and then they've got Paqueta and Kudos and Bowen that could be the front three, and then if Antonio's back, he could play up top on his own. I don't know. How do you see him fitting in?
Well, that's the thing. He's a good player, right? There's no doubts about that. I know he's had a tough couple of years. I mean, he's made 16 Premier League appearances over 2 years. God. No goals, no assists. But it's just...
That's terrible.
But I know that's not particularly his role, but I just think all of a sudden... he needs to... The biggest thing, he needs to go and play football, right? Now, obviously, you've got Ward-Prowse in there as well. And you've got Alvarez. Mm-hmm. But... Taking out Souček, the only thing I'd say about taking out Souček, because a few people have said that, he'll probably be the one to make way.
He gets goals, Souček.
That's the problem. He's got more goals than any... Ward-Prowse's got 4, he's got 5. Or not even goals. He always seems to get the first contact, Souček. Good in the air. So I would be reluctant to take him out because you lose that goal threat. But if everyone's fit, then... Listen, he's got a decision to make. Alvarez has not been playing at the minute, I don't think so. There's a place for him to slot in, but what it does do, for West Ham as a whole, it gives them squad depth. For Kalvin Phillips, it's a little bit, okay, because what he can't afford to do is leave Manchester City, go somewhere and not play. Even though I still think he'll be in the squad because Gareth loves him, but if he goes and plays half decent from now to the end of the season, then I think he'll probably start game one. Same as Henderson. There's a chance Henderson might start if he plays well for Ajax, which I assume he will do. But in that midfield, I think it's just strength and depth. But Kalvin Phillips has to play games. If he wants to start, he can't go into the Euros not playing any football. But West Ham, I think for West Ham Football Club, it's a great signing.
I think it's a bit of a coup as well for them. Yeah. We had West Ham fans phone up last week. Do you remember? 6 not good enough. We should be 5th. And we're like, there's only 5 points between you and Spurs. And you could argue you're overshooting out 6th, right? When you look at the Premier League table, you got the likes of Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle below you, right? So they're overachieving. I just wonder now if the expectation levels for West Ham will go up another notch.
I think they've gone up anyway. But again, we spoke to some of the West Ham fans talking about where they feel they should be. I don't think they should be any higher than they actually are. I think they're still going along really well. Yep. They're flying in Europe.
6 is unbelievable, by the way.
Exactly. And when you add people like Kalvin Phillips to your squad or maybe 1 or 2 others, it just gives you it just gives David Moyes that peace of mind where he goes, right, I don't necessarily have to play Kalvin Phillips in this game because he's playing in Europe in the week, or do you know what I mean? He gives them options. But as I said, for Kalvin Phillips, it'd be nice to see him back playing football at some point, because I really liked him at Leeds. I followed him a lot in the Championship. When he moved to Leeds, it was like he made the step up to the Premier League easy. When you speak to Leeds fans from way back, they talk about at one point Kalvin was close to, they were saying get rid of him, sell him at Leeds. Bielsa came in, completely changed the way that he played, turned him into a superstar, got the move to Manchester City, made him an international. Now it's about him playing football again. He's filled the till in terms of trophies. Like, he's won everything there is to win, even though he's only made 16 appearances in 2 years. On his mantelpiece are all these trophies. Now it's about playing football.
They've got 2 chances to get Champions League football as well. Top 4, and of course via the Europa League. Yeah. This must strengthen their chances of one of those being successful.
Yeah, it does. I mean, the Europa is going to be, with Liverpool in that competition, that's going to be so hard. And
you can't see past Liverpool, can you?
No, the squad that they've got. We're talking about them adding West Ham adding Kalvin Phillips.
Yeah, I just wonder, right? Because the Premier League's so much more important for Liverpool. I just wonder if they get down to the last stages of that competition, and it's nip and tuck at the top of the Premier League. If they'll sacrifice
Andy,
their starting 11 in the Europa League matches.
Liverpool have got Trent to come back, Endo to come back, Matip to come back, Robertson to come back.
But they'll need that.
Salah, Szoboszlai, Thiago, Tsimikas.
The last 17 games of the Premier League, they'll need that. They'll need as strong as they can get.
Yeah, but they're winning games without these players.
Yeah, true.
These players are going to come back.
Yeah.
So
But you do know if they've got 2 big games in a week, one in the Europa League.
they've got the squad big enough to continue.
I know,
with
but
both. They have. They've got the squad good enough to compete with both.
have they?
Yes, of course they have. Look at their front. They've got like a front 6.
No, up front, I totally agree with you.
Even in midfield.
But they've got injuries, key injuries there.
Yeah, but they're going to come back. That's my point.
Okay. West Ham fans, by the way, just on the back of Kalvin Phillips, where do you think they'll finish now? Does it make any difference
6th.
to your thoughts? It doesn't.
No.
It doesn't. So it strengthens them on the pitch, but not necessarily
It
where.
just solidifies where they are.
Okay, sort of cements their chances, but not cements because.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay. I know what you're saying, Benny, but I don't know what you're saying, the football fan and the West Ham fan. So pick up the phone and tell me, 03717223344. I've got a question for everyone, actually, but it can only they can only answer it if they're wearing glasses. Hello, Oscar.
Hi, how you doing? You all right?
I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. Love the show. Thank you.
Thanks, man.
Nice, Oscar.
Listen, before we talk West Ham, do you wear glasses?
I don't. Only sunglasses, mate.
Well, I can't ask you the question. What would you like to say about West Ham? You must be, I would imagine, over the moon, to use a football cliche, that you've got Kalvin Phillips.
Yeah, I'm really happy with it. I think it's a really nice move for us. I don't think it fixes much. I think I see this as a bit of a Lingard situation, and I really, I'm glad he's getting some footballing because I think he needs some football. But I think we're going to be lucky to be top 10 at the end of this season. And I don't know how our European run's going to go because I can see us being a bit of a yo-yo club with this Conference League. I think what you guys said earlier about Liverpool was bang on. I think we're going to struggle, to be honest.
Well, I mean, 10th is a drop because when you look at, I know what you're talking about. You've got sides like Manchester United, Chelsea, Newcastle potentially below you, but you guys are going along really, really well. You pretty know what you're going to get from West Ham week to week, whereas the teams below you, maybe you don't. So surely if you finish 10th, that's not a very good season. I mean, if you win the Europa League, fair enough. But finishing 10th in the league for a side like West Ham and the way you've started, surely that would be a bit of a poor season by your stretch.
I don't think it would be the best. I've been quite Marmite in terms of Moyes. I think he's been hit and miss whether I like him. I think what he's doing is amazing, but I think we do lack a bit of depth to just polish us off as one of these top 6 clubs.
Would you sack him tomorrow?
No, I'll keep him. I'm a big fan of him, and I think at times I've disliked some of his decisions. I didn't like what he did against Liverpool in the recent game when we got absolutely battered, but I think in a general, he's a good manager, and he's achieved a good amount for West Ham.
Okay, Oscar, thanks for that. Let's go to Ben, West Ham fan. Hi, Ben.
Hello, boys. Can you hear me?
Yeah, loud and clear. Can you hear us?
Big fan of him, and I think.
Yeah, I've just stopped my car now, so I can talk to you off of loudspeaker. So yeah, no.
Ben, hold on. Before we talk West Ham, do you wear glasses?
Oh, sorry, mate. No, 20/20 vision, mate.
Okay,
I don't.
right. I can't ask you either. Go on, carry on then, Ben.
Yeah, just wanted to make a quick point. I actually rung earlier on in the season about literally near the start of the season, and you pushed me for where I thought West Ham would finish. And obviously, being optimistic, I said 5th with hopefully England to get the top 5 Champions League. And obviously, we've got Europa League as well. By the way, I don't know if you touched on it yesterday. I finish at work 4 o'clock every day, so I always tune in as soon as I've finished work.
Thanks,
Did
Ben.
you mention, that's all right, but did you talk about the VAR decisions that happened against West Ham in Sunday's game? Because at the start of the show, you didn't mention that you were going to talk about the show.
Yeah, you mean the goalkeeping one, which was never a foul on the goalkeeper. I think it's a foul on the goalkeeper.
I think we did that with Danny Murphy towards the end of the show.
Got you. I wasn't listening at that point. Apologies. But I mean, it was just the craziest, 3 minutes of football I've ever seen.
The penalty on Bowen as well.
Well, this is it. Bowen gets rugby tackled. Ariola has to go off with basically concussions. We have to bring Fabianski on. He's seeing stars. Then the ref goes, oh, by the way, you've got to try and save a penalty. He doesn't know where he is because he's been fouled. It was like, what? I just looked at my missus. I went, no, you don't know what's going on. But I really do not know what's going on here. It was crazy. So anyway, but then that would have put us 5 points to United. So I wonder about things like that. But we're going strong. It's going to strengthen us massively. One thing you said, Darren, about Souček was about his goals. But one thing I'd say to count that, a lot of West Ham fans say it as well. If he doesn't score, you kind of watch the game and you think, what is he doing? I don't know what he's done to contribute towards the team. He's he runs about a lot. He's always top of the running stats, but you not really contributing to the game that much. So I think he comes in for Souček personally. Moyes has chased him for a while.
Do
now.
you?
Yeah, and I worry.
Not Alvarez. I know Alvarez is not fit at the moment, right?
No, he's injured, but they play together. When they're both fit, it'll be both of them sort of sitting in front of the defence.
Okay, you don't think there's any chance he could revert to a 2 in front of the defence like he did with Rice there?
Oh, that's what I mean. I think it'd be Phillips and Alvarez, the two.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. I'm with you.
Yeah, and then you'll have the attackers in front of them.
Yeah.
So I think that's what Moyes would do. I'm a Moyes fan. I think he's had way too much stick from our fans personally this year. There's been a couple of shockers. A guy, Oscar just mentioned the Liverpool away, which was awful. But he's doing all right. I mean, we're sixth in the league, and we're into the last 16 Europa League. We can't really ask for much more.
No.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.